Big 12 Media Days is only a few days away. Before we get there, let's count down the top 10 must watch games in the Big 12 this season. So at number 10, I have Oklahoma State at Oregon. In most years, I would have ranked this game as the number one must watch game in the Big 12. But if you look at what happened last year, Oklahoma State had a really, really rough season. Not like Oklahoma State to have that rough of a season. And then Oregon's coming off a 13-1 season and is going to have a lot of preseason hype. This might be a long day for Oklahoma State Cowboy fans. It's going to be a good measuring stick to see how they're going to perform this year, but it's just a tough matchup. I would have loved to see this matchup in years past, but right now, this one might be a tough day to be a Cowboy. At number 9, I have Nebraska versus Cincinnati. It's a neutral site game at Arrowhead Stadium, so that scene should be really cool there. It's about a touchdown favorite right now. Early indications for Nebraska. Really good quarterback matchup here. Dylan Raiola versus Sorsby. Both are really talented kids, so looking forward to that. Cincinnati has had a tough time in the Big 12, haven't found their winning ways yet. They want to prove themselves this year. And then Nebraska, Matt Rule. Matt Rule is considered a very good coach, but he hasn't really gotten it going at Nebraska yet. He's going into year 3, so usually in year 3 is when he makes the most jumps. So big year for Matt Rule, big year for Cincinnati, big game on the countdown. So at number 8, I have Utah at UCLA, Saturday, August 30th on Fox at 11 p.m. Old Pac-12 rival here. It's almost like that feeling of Pac-12 after dark, but now we have a Big 10 team and a Big 12 team, which should be fun. Utah bringing back their whole offensive line. They have Devin Dampier, New Mexico transfer at quarterback, so they should be fun to watch. Both these teams last year were disappointing. They both failed to make a bowl game. They're going to want to beat their old conference foe in a nighttime game. So number 8, Utah at UCLA. Number 7, I have Kansas at Missouri, Saturday, September 6th, 3:30 game on ESPN. The Border War, an old Big 12 matchup. These teams haven't met since 2011, which is way too long. A really, really close series historically. Missouri leads 57-54. So historically, it's a back and forth game. Missouri's a really good program. They're in the SEC. This might be a tough matchup for Kansas, but it's a good measuring stick to see how they're going to do. This one really fascinates me as a West Virginia fan because there's a ton of former West Virginia players in this game. If you remember, Josiah Trotter, Johnny Williams are going to be on Missouri, and then former linebacker Trey Lathan's going to be on Kansas. So this one's number 7. I'll definitely be tuned into this one. So at number 6, we have SMU at TCU, Saturday, September 20th. This game's going to be a massive one for the Big 12 versus the ACC. Last year's game between these two teams was insane. 66-42, SMU won. It kind of reminded me of the old shootouts back in the day in the Big 12. SMU, ACC runner-up last year, very talented team. Remember, Sonny Dykes was at SMU from 2017 to 2021. So that's an interesting storyline as well. So this one should be a good one. Number 6, SMU at TCU. At number 5, we have Georgia Tech at Colorado, Friday, August 29th, 8 p.m. on ESPN. This one is going to be fun because it gives you a first look at Colorado against a really good team. Georgia Tech is considered a dark horse in the ACC. Look what Georgia Tech did at the end of last season. They beat Miami. They took Georgia to a ton of overtime, so this could be a program on the rise. Colorado has a lot of question marks. No more Shedeur Sanders, no more Travis Hunter, but you're bringing Caden Salter, who's a very good player from Liberty. So this one is going to be fun because it's a primetime game and there's not much competition that day for eyeballs. Colorado is important. Colorado is an important brand for the Big 12 as long as Deion Sanders is there. It would help if they could stay nationally relevant. So number 5, Georgia Tech at Colorado. At number 4, we have TCU at North Carolina, Monday, September 1st, 8 p.m. on ESPN. This one is a weird one because in normal circumstances, I probably wouldn't have TCU versus North Carolina this high on a list, but it's the Bill Belichick effect. Everyone is going to be watching this game. This is the most fascinating story of the offseason. If you would have told me a year ago that Bill Belichick was the coach at North Carolina, I would have said that you were nuts, right? But here we are. He's coming into his first game versus TCU. You never know what you're going to get with TCU either. A few years ago, they made the college football playoff. A year after, they didn't do very well at all. So they're one of those teams that people talk about a lot in the Big 12, but you never truly know what you're going to get until you see them play. So TCU has two big non-conference games now. SMU, North Carolina. Again, Bill Belichick's first game. This one's number 4 on the list. At number 3, I have Auburn at Baylor, Friday, August 29th, 8 p.m. on Fox. This is an extremely important game for the Big 12. You get a chance at an SEC team who has struggled over the last few years. Auburn is not the same Auburn that they've been in the past. It's just the truth. And Baylor last year caught a lot of people by surprise. They made a lot of good strides. Dave Miranda for a while was on the hot seat, but he did a nice job turning it around last year. A lot of people have them as a dark horse in the Big 12 to win the conference. They bring back Sawyer Robertson, who is going into his senior season, who had a very, very good season last year. It's just so important for the Big 12 to get this one. Should be a really cool scene, too, because they're having a blackout, so all the fans at Baylor are going to wear black shirts. So this one should be fun. Primetime game on a Friday night early in the season. So number 3, Auburn at Baylor. At number 2, I have Iowa at Iowa State. Saturday, September 6th, big noon kickoff on Fox. This game last year came down to the wire. Iowa State went down on a last-second drive and kicked a last-second field goal to take the win. Iowa State is one of these programs that was an afterthought a few years ago before Matt Campbell got there. He's really turned this thing around, and they're a program that you have to pay attention to in the Big 12 every year. Iowa historically has had the upper hand in this series. They've been playing for a long time. This one's going to be a really fun one, I think. It's always one that you want to tune into because I love the old school rivalry there. So this one's number 2 on my list, Iowa at Iowa State. So at number 1, Pitt at West Virginia, Saturday, September 13th, 3:30 on ESPN. Listen, I'm a little biased. JerseyEer's the channel, so I'm going to put West Virginia versus Pitt number 1. But if you think about this game, it's going to have all the hype, right? Rich Rodriguez returns against his old rival. The last time they played, Pittsburgh dashed West Virginia's dreams of a national championship, winning that game 13-9. Look at the date, 9-13, the score. Everyone's going to talk about that. The big one with this one, though, is both teams need to do their job going into this game. West Virginia has games versus Robert Morris and a tricky one versus Ohio. You need to start off 2-0 to make this game as hyped as it should be. Same thing with Pitt. Pitt needs to win their games to make this game a hyped game. If both teams come into this game undefeated, who knows? Maybe College Game Day will come for that one. So this one should be a lot of fun. Like I said, Pitt, West Virginia, it's always must-watch TV. Each time they've played the last 3 years, it's been a pretty good game. And it's the last time they're going to play for a while. So Pittsburgh's not on the schedule next year or a few years after that. So extremely important game for the West Virginia Mountaineers, especially because you want to build momentum for Rich Rodriguez. A lot of people were skeptical about him coming in. So if you get a win versus Pitt, it gets the fan base back on your side. So this one's going to be massive, and it's going to be must-watch television. So all 10 of these games are going to be extremely important for the Big 12 moving forward. Let me know in the comments how I did. Do you agree with the list? Did I not do good with the list? Definitely let me know. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. Going to be a fun season in the Big 12. Football season's right around the corner. Thanks for watching.